Let me get this burp out of the way. There we go. Freaking heartburn. In 3, 2, 1, we are live.
Live. Live.
We're down to 2 bars on our batteries.
Should we change it now?
We can make it.
You think?
I don't know. Be very upset if we don't.
You better change it then.
Nah, we're good.
Sure.
Yeah.
Race car spelled backwards is still race car. This is the Race Car Spelled Backwards podcast. Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Brad, and with me, as always, is Jamie, and we are live in the Darn Barn studio. This is the Race Car Spelled Backwards podcast.
It is still spelled backwards race car.
All day long.
All day and all night.
Every day. 5 days a week.
I don't even know how many days there are in a year. 362? Or is it 64? Or is it 65?
I think it's 365. I know the Xbox is a 360.
For some reason, I thought the Xbox was a 365.
Man, we've already started off the rails. All right, so we raced at Indy Road Course this weekend. Before we jump into the race, let's touch on everything that's happened over the last week. After the Pocono race, we all know about the disqualifications because we talked about them on the show last week. But what we didn't talk about was the 34 car of Front Row Motorsports failed pre-race inspection, resulting in a L2 penalty for modifications to a single source part. Front Row Racing Motorsports was hit with a loss of 100 owner points, 100 driver points, crew chief suspended for 4 weeks, and fined 100,000 points. And then if the 34 actually wins a race and makes it into the playoffs, they will take 10 playoff points away. I guess he doesn't have any playoff points.
No, because they're not that good.
Well, I mean,
don't you have to be pretty good to have some points?
They were one of the cars that got taken back, too, last week after the race to be ripped down. So
you think they look at Brad Kozlowski anymore? I mean, he just...
No, highly doubtful.
Yeah, they're like, even if he's cheating,
it doesn't
make
matter.
A difference.
It'd be like checking Rick Ware. I mean,
Brad's got to be losing his mind, dude.
You think?
He really sucks this year. I mean, just sucks.
Are you surprised by it?
Well, I think taking on an ownership has got to be stressful. Okay. But Tony won a championship. Wasn't that his first year as an owner?
Yeah.
So is Tony just that much better of a driver?
I think...
Of course, Tony's kind of sucking as an owner this year, too.
I think it has more to do with Roush Racing. Roush Fenway was so far in the crapper, Brad's having to pull him out. Because you look, Chris Buescher not doing half bad.
No, he caught fire and finished top 10.
But, I mean, he's doing better than Brad.
Do you think?
Week in and week out. On average, he's better.
When he pulled into the pit stop, he got on the radio and said, "I'm on fire!"
I doubt it.
I think he did. Then they hosed him down with fire extinguishers.
I think they knew he was on fire before. So, other big news, Camping World is ending their relationship as the title sponsor at the end of 2022.
That secret was kept about as good as the Chicago road race.
I mean, we've been talking about this for a long time.
Months.
Rumor on the street is they're bringing Craftsman back as the title sponsor, which, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Craftsman, as everybody may or may not remember, was the title sponsor when the series made their debut in 95. It was actually the Super Truck Series then. They only raced 20 races that season. Mike Skinner was the first champion of the Truck Series. And Craftsman came on when? 96? The year after that?
Yeah. Back when there was a Sears. I haven't seen a Sears in years.
Yeah, where do you even buy Craftsman at now? Online?
I don't really know. I mean, when Amazon. They were at Sears...
Amazon Network?
That probably is on Amazon. My dad only bought Craftsman.
It's because Craftsman would replace it.
Back when they were Sears. Actually, he got ticked off before he died. He brought in a socket that had split.
They wouldn't?
And they said, no, we don't do that anymore.
Man, I can remember pulling pliers out of the dirt with my granddad, him finding a pair of pliers in the yard and said Craftsman. He goes, oh, we can replace these. We went to Sears, took those muddy, dirty pliers that wouldn't even open or close anymore in. They said, oh, okay, we'll give you a new pair, brand new pair in a pack.
I wonder if they still have that warranty.
Highly doubtful. So, the first year they were Craftsman was 96. Craftsman stayed in the series till 2008. Ron Hornaday won the first championship when it was Craftsman. Marcus Lemons from Camping World has pretty much been threatening to leave.
Isn't he kind of like the Fox of sponsors? Kind of makes fun of us for being fans?
Well, he's just kind of a butthead to people on social media. Yeah. Yeah. On social media.
He seems arrogant. He really does.
He seems extremely arrogant, but he just seems like a rich, arrogant guy. I mean, when he was sponsoring all those trucks, you had a lot of guys complaining because of how much he was giving them, and it was like pennies on the dollar. But that's, like he said, that's money they weren't getting before. So they were running that race regardless, so you might as well take his offer for pennies on the dollar and put his name on the truck. I mean, it's ingenious, really. Dude's brilliant when it comes to business. And
it makes him look like he's trying to help, but was he? I don't know.
I'm not surprised that he's leaving, and honestly, good riddance. Just move on. Next. I mean, he attacked Jordan Bianchi because Jordan Bianchi stated his side of what happened, and then Marcus is like, no, that's not what happened, Jordan. Why don't you tell the truth? Yeah, I got a problem with that. Like, Bianchi's just doing his job as a reporter, reporting what happened. And in my opinion, Bianchi's one of the
top reporters.
Exactly. So
covering NASCAR.
For Marcus to call him out like that and try to say he was cheating, or not cheating, but lying.
There seems to be a lot of arrogance in our sport right now.
Oh, no doubt.
And I'm going to bring this up again later.
About the arrogance?
About the arrogance.
Oh, yeah, Jamie woke up pissed off this morning.
Pissed me off.
On the way to the racetrack this weekend, William Byron's hauler catches on fire. Did you see that?
Did he say, I'm on fire?
He probably didn't, but I bet his driver did. I guess it was the not radiator. What's that thing called? Generator.
Why was it on while they were driving?
I don't know. It caught fire, though. Probably wasn't a generator like we would buy at the store, a pull start. I think it was built onto the actual trailer itself.
For when they're parked, so they keep things running in their big haulers.
Some probably left their phone charger plugged in, and it kept pulling juice from the generator while they were driving down the highway, and it caught fire.
Probably so they can keep that awesome Daikin mini split running.
Probably.
Yeah, that's what I think.
But it wouldn't have caught on fire.
No, so it probably wasn't ours.
Yeah, definitely wasn't a Daikin.
Yeah, you're right.
Ours don't catch on fire when hooked to a back of William Byron's trailer.
So, media. Did I say that right? Medina?
Something like that. Actually, like I said, they said it was just the generator, so...
so we're going down there. So, it might have been a Daikin.
Could have been. Could have been anything.
If I was going to put in a mini split, I'd put in a Daikin.
Yeah,
and we're not sponsored by them. Well, we kind of are, but not really.
Get paid by them.
Yeah.
All right, so Matthew Dillner announced on last week's episode after Dale Jr. and Mike Davis got done fighting that he will be leaving the Dale Jr. Download and Dirty Mo Media to head over to Flow Racing and work with them guys. I think it sucks.
Yeah,
I hate to see Dillner go. I'm very happy for Matthew. Like, if this is the path he wants to follow, which I'm sure it is, he's a big dirt track guy. I'm happy for him.
He did kind of throw in another dynamic, Sometimes he would pop in and be a third host.
Yeah, he brought a lot of knowledge to the show.
And, his, Lost Speedways with Junior was awesome.
I don't think he's leaving Lost Speedways. I think he'll continue to do that. Of course, he hasn't said, but that would be my suspicion. But as far as us here as a podcast, we wish you the best of luck, Dillner. I know you'll do great. Roger.
We got 3 Lost Speedways near us.
Do you?
We ought to go.
The Macon one's by your house.
Well, the original one was downtown at the fairgrounds, like most NASCAR racetracks.
At Lakewood?
Yeah, and then where I used to work before. No, Lakewood is at the fairgrounds up in Atlanta.
That's what I'm talking
So we
about.
got Macon Speedway, Byron Motor Speedway, which was in NASCAR up until like the late 70s, 80s.
That was on an episode of Lost Speedway.
Yeah, it was. And then we have the old course. There's just a strip left. They turn them into ball fields at the Central City Park in Macon.
We need to check them out.
Yeah, maybe we could get some content on YouTube.
Maybe.
Shoot it with our phones.
We need to get on YouTube. We'll be on YouTube.
I think we need to be on YouTube too.
All right, so Roger Penske came out and said that the race next year will be on the road course.
But is he sure? He looked a little old.
He's evaluating whether to switch to the oval in 2024.
What if we just switch away from Indy because we're NASCAR?
That's what I said. He says that they're looking at, every other year going from road course oval. The attendance on the oval was around 60,000 people. The attendance at the road course was around 60,000 people.
I mean,
we haven't.
Stands looked empty to me.
It's
But
no
it seats,
better.
What, 300,000?
This thing's no better on the road course than it was on the oval. Now, granted, I would like to see the new car on the oval.
I would too. See
Maybe
if it
under a
fixes
test.
it.
Let's do it in a test, though. I mean, we don't have to do 400 miles on it. Because if it sucks, I don't want to watch 400 miles. Just like I don't want to watch 400 miles at Richmond.
Maybe
I don't
we
want to
should-
watch 400 miles at the Brickyard if it sucks.
Maybe we should test a 250 lapper
Maybe just test a 100 lap.
or 250 mile race. That's 100 laps.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Makes more sense than
We finally agree on
just
something.
rolling it out at a 400-mile race. All right, Eric Jones signs a multi-year deal to drive the 43 car at Petty GMS. Great move, Petty.
I wonder why Ty's done.
Well, obviously Ty sucks in that car in the 42, so Eric Jones has outdriven that car all
But have
season.
you noticed Granddaddy hasn't put him in a car? Do you think Granddaddy's an
reason for that.
evaluator for his skill set? Or do you think it's his daddy?
I don't think Richard Childress makes a whole lot of good decisions right now. Personally,
Yeah, I mean,
the way he's handled this Tyler Reddick thing, in my opinion, has been kind of a DB move. I mean, Richard is bigger than that, but he's kind of handled it like a little baby. I mean,
but aren't you going to feel bad? I mean, he didn't hear directly from Tyler, did he? Or maybe he did. We don't really know.
Yeah, we don't know when Richard heard about it. And nor do we know. I don't think Richard is really involved in the negotiation process.
I would hope that when you know you're going to be on a Zoom meeting with Denny,
that was planned.
it's going to be loaded to YouTube, that you've already told Richard.
Yeah, I just have a hard time believing. Maybe he didn't. Who knows? But either way,
just let it go, Richard.
RCR shouldn't have let Tyler leave.
No, they should have paid
They had him. They should have locked him in. But as we've heard rumors of, Richard's cheap, which is probably why his grandkids drive for him. Or
You
his
think
grandson.
he paid Senior less than other drivers?
I don't think you had to pay a lot of money back then. It was a lot of money back then, but it's not what it is now.
Well, Senior was the first that really took this licensing to where he
that's
made
where Senior made all his money.
$50 million a year just selling his likeness.
Yep. So it's first off, Richard Childress, it's his fault for letting Tyler ever leave. I blame him. I blame the whole organization. Second, when the news broke, Richard got all pissy and tweeted saying it was, that they handled it the wrong way.
Yeah, but so make it better.
Well,
Don't add fuel to the fire.
So Claire B. Lang asked Richard over the weekend. I finally heard this clip too. And Richard's like, yes, of course Tyler will be in the car the rest of this season. And she says, well, what about next season? He says, well, Tyler will be in a RCR car next season. He didn't say the 8 or anything. It's just in a car. That could be in the friggin' Xfinity series for all we know.
Kind of hedging.
It's very cryptic. Tyler even said that he hadn't talked to Richard since the announcement till yesterday in Victory Lane.
I have so much respect for Richard Childress, too.
Yeah,
I mean,
this is, to me, this is, I don't know, this is the same owner that took his Rolex off to punch Kyle Busch. I mean, yes, we all want to hit Kyle Busch.
But
every owner out there's wanted to hit Kyle Busch, but they were professional enough not to do it.
Oh, Dale's staring at me. That's creepy.
Yeah, that's because you're about to say something stupid.
Took my last pain pill this morning.
Dale's staring at you. You about to say something stupid.
No. I was just going to say I have a lot of respect for Richard Childress. He's done a lot for the sport. He's always had a great team, except for since Harvick left? And now, with Tyler Reddick. I don't know, his grandsons maybe should be in management if they want to stay in racing.
Well, yeah, because Richard said that when Kevin Harvick decided to leave, the two of them sat down, come up with a strategy, had a joint press conference, separated peacefully, and went on their way. That's next season, because remember, Harvick announced it and then came back the following season before he left to go to Stewart-Haas. So everybody says he's going to have a lame duck season. Well, Harvick didn't. He came back that next year, won 4 races. So Richard said that this didn't happen between him and Tyler. Well, maybe Tyler didn't sit down and agree to your stupid stipulations. Oh, we're going to do it this way because this is how I've done it for 183 years.
We're only going to pay you $25,000 a year.
Yeah, that's good, right?
Because you're racing.
Well,
drink some of my wine.
Like you said, maybe Austin should be in the management side. I don't know. Maybe Richard shouldn't be investing so much into his grandkids. Maybe he should be invested into proven up-and-comers. I
think Austin's peaked. He won a 500.
Yeah, he's peaked, and it's been downhill.
And really, you win a 500, the only thing better than that is winning another. But you're always going to be the Daytona 500 winner. We don't even talk about the summer race in Daytona that much. It is the 500. He's won it. Bye-bye.
Austin's won 2 restrictor plate races. So did David Reagan. I mean, what's that? Are we...
And Almirola.
Are we getting all excited? I mean, come on. When Bubba Wallace won Talladega, everybody said it didn't count. So does that mean Austin's didn't count either?
No, there's people that are skilled at plate races,
but he's not one of them.
You can luck into a win at a super speedway.
Yeah, and I think that's what Austin did.
Like Dale Jr.
I don't look at Austin as a top road course driver like I do. I'm going to throw up a little bit, but Joey Logano. Yeah, I did throw up a little bit.
Why not say Chase? We're all
I was getting there. Chase, Dale Jr., Dale Sr., those guys I look at. Tony, I look at those guys as experts. Brad Keselowski, they're really good road course racers. Heck, I would even say Ryan Newman. I mean, yeah, Ryan Newman or Ryan Blaney even, but not Austin Dillon. Austin Dillon got lucky because he's been unlucky a lot of times there.
Oh, he's unlucky almost every week.
Well, speaking of the changing of the sport, Brett Moffitt made a comment that this sport is getting to the point where if you have the money, you can get a ride.
Hasn't that always been the case?
Well, he's saying that it has, but it hasn't. There's always been a few guys who come in. I guess Brett Moffitt's Xfinity ride for the Our Motorsports and the O2 car dried up. They're putting somebody else in that car.
Well, I mean, there's no way look at even the 50s.
Well, you see it.
You got to have a sponsor.
What Brett said, it's becoming paid, or if you got the money, you can get a ride, but if you have the talent, you can't stay in the sport anymore, something like that. I was reading some things on Twitter where fans were responding, and I've noticed a lot of hardcore fans that I follow on Twitter over the years. This year, they've kind of got to the point where they don't feel like the sport cares about them.
Well, I can see that. I mean, don't you think this new design's kind of bringing us more to an F1 type series? Because we've also thrown in a ton of road courses.
Yeah, I do.
We're chasing F1.
I absolutely hate these road courses.
I do too.
Hate them.
But we're chasing F1 when we used to be the world leader in ovals.
Here's the thing, though. I never felt like NASCAR cared about me. NASCAR's a sport. They're going to do what's in their best interest, which means what's going to make them the most money.
But, only time I've ever gotten a warm, fuzzy feelings when my driver won.
Exactly.
I'm not rooting for NASCAR. I'm rooting for Chase, or I'm rooting for Dale Sr.,
but
Dale Jr.
You would pull for those guys if they went. I mean, we're driving, 7 hours to go watch Dale Jr. race a 100-lap late model stock race? I mean, that's what I mean.
And now we've been talking for years, folks, about doing the 24-hour of Le Mans. Lemons, really.
Lemons, yeah. Against Dale Jr. would be so much,
we've kind of... Dale Jr. in his podcast last week said he'd love to do it, and I'm like, Brad, we got to do Tour de Lemons and tow it out to Sonoma and race against Dale Jr. door to door in our Datsun V210.
We just got to find a car for $500. That's what I think. It's going to be a little tough, but
like I said, we need to get a frame off, flip it around so it looks like our race car's going backwards.
Yeah, race car spelled backwards.
Uh-huh.
Podcast car.
So we need an older car where it's not unibody.
A really, really, really cheap car. Well, Fred Flintstone the thing.
Yeah.
We ain't going to be able to drive it all the way out to California. We'll have to pull
I think we can get some coworkers to come drive with us.
Well, we need 4 drivers, so we're 2. So anybody who listens to this show, just tweet us if you want to help us drive.
Our boss Robert's in the F1.
What if we had all fans, us and just fans? People who listen to our show. If you listen to the show, you can drive. That'd give us like 20
And don't
drivers.
panic. The format is it's going to be 24 hours, but we sleep at night.
Half the
yeah, 12 hours Saturday, 12 hours Sunday.
Hey, Kyle Busch told the reporters that he's made concessions and will take less money or even just a 1-year deal to stay in that 18 car next season.
I don't believe him.
I think he did. I think after Ty Gibbs went out and showed that he can drive, which we already knew, but after Ty Gibbs did what he did, Kyle's like, oh, crap. They have
But
that gave Joe Gibbs options.
I don't think
when Toyota and Gibbs want him back.
I think when he said it in the interview, it was the first time he said he would take a pay cut.
Or this weekend.
Well, he says he's contacted other good teams, and he knows he's going to have to get paid less than his value.
So he knows what his market value is. Brad Keselowski talked about that, though. He held on. He was supposed to leave Penske the year before he did, but he held out on doing it because of his market value. He saw more value if he held on for another year because of COVID.
Makes sense.
So I think
back when he was winning?
Yeah. I think Kyle has shopped his market value and realized it's less than what he thought. So he's willing to take less from anywhere, obviously, to get a ride, but he would prefer taking less from Gibbs so he don't have to make any changes.
Here's the question. Is he charging Gibbs a premium? Will he take $8 million from Gibbs but $5 million from Haas? And I haven't heard or read anything, but that's just an example.
I don't know, probably. Well, I don't know right at this point.
Is that fair to Gibbs?
It's not about being fair. It's just, this is a game. It's a money game. That's all this is.
As you just said, Ty Gibbs could come up. He finished in the top 20 this week.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's a Kyle Busch thing. I don't think it's a sponsorship problem now. I think it's a Joe Gibbs and Toyota realizing they need to go ahead and move Ty Gibbs up now versus making him wait.
And what do you think they can pay Ty? $3 to $5 million?
Easily.
And they can get a sponsor to cover that.
$2 million, he's in.
Because he's getting granddaddy's money eventually anyway.
Exactly. So,
or running the team like over at RCR.
I don't see Ty running the team. I see Ty running the sport. To me, Ty...
Oh, I see Ty doing what Gordon did.
Tyler Reddick. These guys are the future of the sport.
Win a few championships and come back and be
take over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ty will be successful in a cup car at JGR. It's probably going to be the 18. And if I had to guess, I would say next season he will be in the 18 car. I don't know where Kyle's going. I don't really care where Kyle goes, honestly.
I just love hating him.
I think we've got a lot of new personalities that we're going to love hating coming into the sport. So
I got another one. Just
whether Kyle's here or not, it don't matter. All right, so this weekend we were back at IRP with the trucks. Infinger led about 80 laps. No.
Is it Infinger or F-Finger?
It's Infinger. So he had 80 lap fresher tires.
That's a nasty name. I'm just gonna say it. That's
going
nasty.
into the final green white checkered, and he won the race.
Well,
but he had better. There was a given, dude. Even before the green flag fell,
give him the F-Finger. There you go.
He gave him the Infinger. That's just wrong.
I did enjoy the race at IRP.
I loved it, man. It was very nostalgic. Like, IRP put on some of the best racing back in the day, in my opinion. Heck, it put the best racing out of Indianapolis, at least.
Well, I mean, I've never been that impressed with The big boy pants and
nobody has.
No,
I don't think we've ever had a good NASCAR race. Nobody ever went, that was the best race I've ever seen in my life.
It was kind of interesting when the Goodyear tires sucked and they lasted like 4 laps.
Every 8 to 10 laps we had a tire blown. It was only interesting because you were hoping your driver did not die that day. AJ Allmendinger holds off Alex Bowman to win the Xfinity race. Not a shocker. AJ's one hell of a driver.
He is.
Especially on road courses.
Think he goes full-time to Cup next year?
I don't know. Tyler Reddick wins the Cup race, holding off somebody. Your boy.
You mean Dingleberry?
Oh, Watermelon.
A whole new DB? Dingleberry.
Watermelon. So Jeff Gluck, after his poll, after 3,390 votes, is 56% yes, 43% no on his good race poll. Even though Jeff was pretty pissed about his poll.
If you listen to the teardown, he's making threats.
Threats to get rid of it.
And I'm one of those people that won't do the extra click.
One freaking click more.
I'm not going to do it.
I'd do it for you. I don't know your login. That's just ridiculous. You need to vote. But we don't agree on our vote of the race anyway. So we use the old tried and true scale 1 to 10. So we don't have to do any English over here with percentages.
What did you do, Brad?
Brother, I gave it a 3.
Good Lord.
I would just go, Watkins Glen's coming up in 2 weeks. I'm going to go ahead and give it a 3 before I even watch it. Because these road courses suck, man. I hate road course racing now.
I'll give it a 6.
I don't know
I'm
why.
gonna put an asterisk on
It's
it.
that pain pill you took this morning.
Turn 1 made it a 6.
Turn 1 was only
That was
interesting
like a
5
figure 8
times.
crash and bang 'em.
5 times all day. It took 10 seconds to get from the start-finish line through turn 1.
By the end of that lap, at the restart,
50 seconds of the whole race was
single
good.
file.
50 seconds of the whole dang race was good. That's what you're saying. Turn 1 was good.
Basically, yeah.
So you gave it a 6 for 50 seconds.
Oh, the bump and run.
What would you have voted on Gluck then? If you could make it past that extra click. Which is really just touching your phone screen.
I probably would have voted yes.
Really?
Yeah.
I was wondering
Now,
who the
mind
drunks were that
you,
voted yes.
I recorded it and got bored a few times and went to the X Games. I watched the whole race, just not in order.
I'll tell you what, Tyler Reddick, man, that dude's a phenomenal driver.
He is.
He don't let anything rattle. He didn't let it rattle him. Like when he won Road America, it was just straight up domination. Nobody near him at the end. He went in and won it. Yesterday, he had friggin' bullets flying at him with Ross Chastain coming off an access road. It didn't rattle him at all. Austin Cindric, who we know is a proven road racer.
It rattled me.
Yeah.
Pissed me off.
I just think I think what you saw with Reddick is the future of this sport. Like I said a minute ago, Ty Gibbs, Tyler Reddick, these guys are the future of NASCAR.
Ross is the new...
Ross Chastain. He's the future.
Yeah, he is. And I'm going to love hating him.
Exactly. And so a lot of people are. Tell you who won't be the future of NASCAR, in my opinion, and that's John Hunter Nemechek. So in the truck race, John Hunter gets into Taylor Gray, spinning him, putting him into the wall. Then John Hunter gets out and complains because Zane Smith essentially did the same thing to him. I just don't like him. I do not like
Isn't
John
that
Hunter.
called crocodile tears?
Yeah. Like, here's my thing. John Hunter moved up to Cup, went back to KBM because it's going to look better on his resume with a bunch of wins at KBM.
But eventually you got to go to Cup and you need to win.
But he hasn't performed at KBM either.
Because he sucks.
Exactly.
And
nobody performs at KBM like
Front
Kyle.
Row Joe. He was called Front Row
That's
because
bad.
Yeah, but he could qualify. He couldn't win any race. What did he win, 2?
Well, his son, I think, is probably taking on the same thing.
Well, you can always go race for his daddy. Isn't that Front Row Motorsports? No, he's Noco. Noroko? Namiko?
Yeah, Namiko or something. Nomco.
Are they still in Cup?
I don't think they're in anything.
They're just like,
Are they even in the trucks?
I don't know.
I don't think they are. I think they're gone. I think they gave it up. The Nemiko.
Nemiko, that's it.
Nemco. Whatever it was. All right, so obviously neither one of us liked the race. Well, no, I liked the race. Jamie loved 50 seconds of the race. I'm glad you enjoyed that 50 seconds of the race.
Is that why you only gave it a 3? Because it was 30 seconds of Turn 1?
I didn't even enjoy it. I just thought turn 1's stupid, man. It was all stupid. The start of this race looked like pure amateur racing. You had the best drivers in the world. Like the first stage, you had Denny Hamlin wrecked like 62 times in stage 1. Very first
Denny
turn, we had people wrecking.
Phantom crash into nothing. Spun out.
Dale Jr., he just gets all excited up in the booth, but to me, turn 1 looked like friggin' bumper cars. Stage 1 looked like bumper cars. We looked like a bunch of idiots out there. Like, we didn't know what the heck they're doing. Even in Indy, they don't race like that. F1, they don't race like that.
So maybe we should take the fenders off and make you protect those wheels a little more.
Look, Dale Jr. thinks this was a good race. I think it was horrible. That's 2 weeks in a row I don't agree with him.
I'm on the okay level. But like I said, I went over to the X Games.
Yeah, that's a problem. That means you had issues with the race too.
Well, it got boring after turn 1.
Exactly.
By the end of the lap, they're single file.
You gave it a dang 6, and all you liked was turn 1, and we only got turn 1 5 times.
Give me the highlight reel. That's it.
2 minutes. You got it all. And that's showing a burnout in Ryan Blaney's payback to Suarez. So 2 minutes of a highlight reel, you've seen everything that's happened all friggin' day.
Pretty much. I enjoyed.
It sucked, dude.
I enjoyed turn 1.
I would have gave it a 0 if they would have allowed me. I would have fallen into the 0-star trap with this track, man. I think Richmond's going to be more entertaining than this race. Actually, that's like saying I like Joey Logano. It's throwing up a little.
The real test will be Phoenix, the last race. To see if we like it.
It's going to suck, too.
I think it is.
It sucked earlier this year. It's going to suck when they go back.
I want to see the new car at Homestead, which I'll see in a little bit, but...
Ty Gibbs subs for Kurt Busch again, as Kurt's still recovering from the concussion stuff, and he finishes 17th.
Which is damn good for second race.
Kind of had a quiet day and an uneventful day, which, you hear on DBC all the time. They say if
he didn't wreck anybody.
Yeah, we don't want to hear your name. You finished mid-pack and we don't hear your name. That's pretty dang good. So,
only his second time in the car.
Yeah, dude, he finished 16th last week, which really was 18th. So let's just say 18th. Because he got bumped up. He got two positions.
So he finished what? The same?
He finished one position better. So he improved this week over last week, in my opinion, on paper.
With
18th to 17th is an improvement.
With only one suspension of a DB.
Exactly. Well, no, Austin, they didn't get suspended or DB'd. No, DQ'd.
Oh, he was a DB.
Those
DQ'd.
Those DBs got DQ'd. It's like an LB.
A dumb bag or
it's like an LB plus.
LB. We haven't heard that in a while. You out there, Larry? Oh, sorry. There's millions of Larrys out there.
Larry!
LB.
Larry!
He's a DB.
Chris Buescher catches his car on fire. Then to me, this is like a clown show. Like, Buescher's in the car. You see
there
flames.
There seemed to be a little delay.
They're spraying a fire extinguisher in the car.
In his face.
Yeah, and then they're spraying got the leaf blower trying to pull the smoke out. And then the dude finishes 10th.
Yeah, I mean.
His hair on his arms is probably singed. And he goes out and finishes 10th. Dude, that's friggin' crazy. Why did the car catch on fire there? Like, we had a lot of mysterious issues yesterday. You had the Chris Buescher random fire. Maybe he dropped a cigarette.
Well, that would be cool. That was what was going on in the old days.
Or, because it's Chris Buescher by Wyndham.
Oh.
That's probably what it was right there.
It was a Wyndham hotel.
It just, as we know, Wyndham's... You have random smokes. It just starts smoking randomly at the Wyndham.
Wyndham to me is kind of like the coffee grinds at the bottom of your coffee cup.
Well, Chris Buescher ain't that bad.
Wyndham is.
Wyndham is.
I walked past the Wyndham.
So maybe it was his car. It was just the Wyndham sticker on the car just made it go to crap.
Look, this is what my wife and I went to New York City over the weekend to see Hamilton, which... this is going to be a rabbit hole, but I think if our congressmen and women would go see that, both parties, I'm not picking a party, we might have a little more cooperation in the running of this country. But anyway, we walked past the Wyndham. We stayed at a Hilton. We walked past the Wyndham to get to the Richard Rogers Theater.
Shooting up heroin on the side.
There was.
Really?
Yeah, I wanted to take a picture, but Jody's like, no, don't do that. Don't
take a picture.
Don't
of
get
the
mad.
crackhead.
I'm like, that guy's in no condition to come after
What's
us.
he going to chase you?
He's like barely able to lift his head up. Then I'm like, no one cares that this dude's. There were like 4 of them shooting up heroin.
I saw the same thing in Asheville.
But then we get around the corner and there's a needle depository.
Yeah, that way your kids don't pick them up and play with them.
And guess what? These people on heroin can't put the thing in the depository. There's needles laying around.
Did you see where there's that place, I think it's in Canada, where they're like having safe heroin use zones so you can come use your heroin in their safe free zone?
I'm okay with it if there's
That keeps it off the street,
someone picking up the needles and putting them in a safe deposit, because people on heroin don't seem to be able to do that.
Maybe we get Fauci to pick up the needles. He's going to retire soon. He's going to need something to do.
He's from New York, too. He
Yeah.
might want to clean it up.
Yeah. They can go there and just pick up needles all day. I think it'd be a great job for a retired old man.
But every time we rode a cab,
Yeah.
it was like turn 1 in Indianapolis.
What, 30?
I couldn't drive in New York City. Oh, my God.
I didn't see anybody at Indianapolis throw their credit card out the window, so your cab rides were nothing like the race at Indy.
Yeah. I'm not even going there.
All right, Kyle Larson loses control going into the turn, wiping out Ty Dillon completely. They said he was going 120 miles an hour when he hit Ty.
Dude, all 4 wheels came off the ground.
Hendrick Motorsports came out today and said that there is no sign of brake failure whatsoever on the car.
So what does that mean for...
What happened? He said something happened with the brakes, but there's no brake failure.
Did he hit the clutch instead of the brake or the
I don't know. That's
gas pedal?
Look, we had a random brake failure issue that only lasted for 1 second, and we had a car randomly catch on fire yesterday. You think it's a car problem or a team problem?
Well, there shouldn't be any flammable material inside the cabin of your car.
Maybe they had vinyl graphics covering up airflow spots that made the interior of the car catch on fire.
Or gas in the roll cage.
Probably.
And it sprung a leak.
You probably hold an extra 2 gallons in that roll cage.
Uh-huh.
So that was a hard hit, though, man. We went back and watched a replay before we started recording this show, and it was massive.
Do you think there's some problem between the 2 drivers we don't know about?
Actually, I think what it is Ty Dillon was about to finish a race, and, that's not what he's known for. And somebody come over the radio and said, hey, Larson, you're not going to win.
Just take him out.
Can you help us out by taking Ty out? Maybe they're trying to drive Ty's market value down by wrecking him every week so they can hire him cheaper. I think RCR is doing it. Richard has people wrecking Ty every week so they can drive his market value down, and he'll have more money to invest into his winery.
I bought some of his wine once.
Is it any good?
I'm not a wine drinker.
So,
I drink it sometimes when other people are. But it was very expensive.
Yeah. Was it good, though?
I don't know what good wine is.
No.
I like the red chillable box wine.
Tasted like really bad Kool-Aid.
Well, that's usually what it tastes like. Bad grape Kool-Aid. Sugar-free.
All right, a restart with 3 laps to go, and it gets stupid, insanely crazy. Everybody loses their mind, drives into turn 1.
Some people didn't drive into turn 1.
They didn't even hit their brakes.
No, I don't even think they turned right.
This was before that.
Oh, before?
This is the restart before that when...
Yeah, it was all
This is the one where the 22 car passes like 15 cars in turn 1 because he takes it 37 wide. And I'm not even mad at Joey for this. I mean, Joey just went right.
It helped him.
But that was my problem with turn 1 all day. They would fly into turn 1 and use the cars next to them to stop. I do that. I do that playing video games.
Put some orange cones up with a sign, lane ins. That'd be funny.
That ain't going to help, though. They're still going to do it. I mean, if you're supposed to be one of the top drivers in the world, you don't play like we're playing NASCAR Heat. I mean, legit. That's exactly a move I would make. I would hit the apron and just go up the track, bouncing off other cars to help me make the turn. That's what Joey did.
You know what it looked like?
Everybody else did.
It looked like the million people trying to get through the Atlanta airport.
The Grady Curve?
No, going through security. Because that is the god-awful, worst security in the country.
So on that, and then we had the next restart, the one where Ryan Blaney got all pissed off. I'm not sure what he was so mad at. I mean, it was, I guess Suarez got into Ryan.
Well, he's probably getting frustrated. He hasn't won yet, and he's doing real well, and finishing races. He just can't win.
Well, then he went back after the race and hit Daniel Suarez, and I don't blame Daniel. Daniel did what everybody else did. He laid on top of Ryan going into turn one. Everybody else was laying on top of everybody, so I just think Ryan Blaney's pissed because he's having a crappy season. Like you said, turn one sucked. We all know it sucked. And here we go. Ross Chastain, very final restart, going into turn one, hits the access road, pops out in front of Tyler Reddick, almost ruins the race.
He's praying that 2 new guys don't win races. That's what he's praying for.
Ain't nobody going to win a race if you keep Kamikaze in it like that.
And there's too many road courses, Ryan.
It's not interesting, man. When you Kamikaze the turn, it's not interesting. You have no shot of making it back out.
But it paid off for Logano.
But if you watch, we watched that restart, or that final restart. Ross Chastain never attempted to turn.
No, he didn't.
Ross Chastain barely hit his brake. Now, Austin Dillon also got penalized, so both of them got a 30-second penalty, right?
Well, Austin said, look at that DB. I'm going to do it too.
Yeah, Austin never even slowed down. He sped up and went to the outside to pass cars to hit it. But apparently NASCAR told him, if you cannot make turn one, this access road is the way you go. Hit it, no penalty.
But they also said if you miss it, there's a penalty.
I think they were talking out of both sides of their mouth, and I think it bit them in the butt here.
Well, now, what I think they should have done is black flagged him immediately.
Immediately, he should have had to do a stop and go.
Yeah. Or
pull over on the track somewhere.
Or go through pit lane.
You knew. There's no way you can convince me that Ross did not know going into that restart that he was going to go on that act. Ross planned that out Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
He went through there Saturday, said, by accident, I shot through there.
But didn't he say, I don't think that's a penalty?
Well, he didn't. No, he
thought it was a loophole.
That's what he thought it was, but he said he didn't plan on doing that. He goes, no, Dave, of course not.
No, he did it on purpose.
There's no doubt he did it on purpose.
But you know
Him
what?
and Austin Dillon. So the penalty's justified.
I liked him when he first won. Now I think he's a DB.
Personally, I'm getting about tired of Ross Chastain. Every single week, it's something stupid he did.
Yeah.
I mean,
but I think he thinks he's the smartest guy in the room. He's an arrogant little turd.
Even during Saturday's race, he was a bulldozer.
I'm going to love him. I'm going to love to hate him.
I'm just over him making the headlines for the wrong reason every week. Like,
well,
what are they, like on Door Bumper Clear, they call it the Zero F's Giving Tour. Yeah, Ross is definitely on that tour this year.
Obviously, he thinks it works for him.
Ross needs to go and copyright that.
Well, he needs to stop smiling when he gets interviewed. Acting like he's got a secret.
Yeah, I
got a secret, dude.
What'd you call him earlier? Joey Logano 2.0?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm over it, man. I don't know that I care for Ross Chastain as much as I did. I mean, I still like the guy, I guess. I like to watch him drive because he's on the edge of out of control, but that's the problem, too. Like, he's a great driver by himself, but he doesn't respect anybody else on the track.
I said it a couple weeks ago, or episodes, maybe 24, 23. He's never going to win a championship without any friends.
You see the problems he's had the last few weeks. I mean, somebody's run into him every race.
But Denny gave him a choice, and he chose the wrong choice. Denny's choice was wreck or slow down.
That's just proof that Ross isn't ready to be a champion. Because he can't – I think that was an emotion thing. He was emotionally committed to that outside line. Denny was committed to running him up the track. Ross, all he had to do was let off, and he ain't reckoned.
He didn't even have to hit the brakes, just take his foot off the pedal for a second. Well,
we're sitting here complaining about turn one. Turn one was a 90-degree turn. We're about to go, well, not about to, but next season we're going to a street course in Chicago that's going to have 8 90-degree turns.
Well, I hope they have a lot of, sources for their spare parts. I hope this COVID inventory issues over by then.
I hope AJ Allmendinger gets his cool suit fixed before then. Dude, he was struggling.
And he still came in 10th.
Struggling, not 10th. That was.
What did he come in, 5th?
7th.
Okay.
You have the finishing results in front of you, Sunshine.
Well, I was watching them. I texted you while you were two stages behind me, and then I said, "Oh, you haven't gotten there yet, have you?" I said, "He needs to drink more water next time."
Yeah, I didn't know what you meant until they started showing.
That's why I stopped. I realized you were watching a recording.
Why do you think AJ's not in a Cup car? My opinion is he don't want to be.
He didn't seem to handle the pressure last time he was full-time in Cup. I think he's matured and can handle it now.
I think he enjoys the limited schedule, though. The shorter schedule with Xfinity. He's married. He can spend time with his wife. He's in his 40s. AJ's older than me.
So he's got 2 or 3 more years.
I'd say 3 to 5, yeah. Max. But I think he probably enjoys doing what he's doing. I don't know. I've not heard.
And he was last in Cup where, just a rookie driver was making $8 to $10 million. So how long was he in Cup before? 4 or 5 years?
He's been around for a long time. He's done a lot of different things. He's won championships and races in a lot of different series. I don't think AJ wants to move up. And that's, like I said, that's completely my opinion. Because I think if he wanted to move up, I think he would have a ride with Colleague.
Oh, I think so too. Or someone else for that matter.
Well, like I said, if you put it, why wouldn't you pick him? Why wouldn't front row put him in a car? I mean, he can go out and win you got 6, 7 road courses now.
Yeah.
Why not put him in it?
He can win 3 or 4.
He wins 1 or 2 road courses. He's locked in.
And he might win an oval.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
The team makes money. All right, so we've complained a lot this week. To end on a positive note for the race talk, at least, before we get into next week's race, the race broadcast was a total of 182 minutes long, and it only had 30 minutes of traditional non-side-by-side commercials, meaning you only missed 30 minutes of the race. Most of that 30 minutes was under caution, I would think. Because under caution, we didn't have side-by-side commercials.
Well, as we know, NBC's doing a way better job of covering the races.
Yep. And NBC will be covering it next week when we go to Michigan. But when we go to Michigan, Jamie, where the heck don't we want to stay at?
This is an area I have experience with.
Are these people better than the Northerners? Like
a little.
Their reviews actually use words?
But, I lived 2 years just like 30 miles north of
the
Irish Hills.
Is that where Irish Spring soap comes from?
Probably.
Cool.
My father was sent by the government to get his PhD at Michigan State, just up the road.
To conduct those LSD experiments he did?
I'm not sure he did that. He never really told us what he did.
Yeah, that's fine. It's probably something shady.
It could have been the mailroom. He ran the stamp machine. I don't know.
Yeah.
But he had a PhD.
Or he could have been working for the CIA passing out
in
LSD.
Economics. But anyway, I've been down here.
To the Travelodge?
No.
Brooklyn, Michigan.
We went camping.
That's probably for
That's why I threw in a campground, because I have fond memories of the campground that we're reviewing. And I'm telling you, these guys aren't the same owners. But anyway, we'll start first with Travelodge by Wyndham, our favorite chain of no-tell motels.
The motel section is unofficially brought to you by Wyndham.
Yeah. We should pay them royalties.
Well, without Wyndham,
we're not making
without Wyndham, we wouldn't have all these crappy hotels to talk about each week.
And the Irish Hills are in the middle of nowhere, and there's a Wyndham. So there's a crap hotel everywhere in America.
Don't worry,
by Wyndham.
You haven't been left out, no matter where you live.
Chris Busher, are you listening?
He knows.
Yeah, he doesn't stay.
He lives at a Wyndham.
He won't take the free rooms for the sponsorship.
He's like, nah.
But we're at the Travelodge. This is Rebecca Bennett.
Right.
She gave it a 1 out of 5 on Google.
She used her real name.
Charged $60 and claimed that we had accidentally gotten a free night. What? When shown evidence that this wasn't true, as it had been booked and paid for, Liz then said, and Liz must work there, in my opinion, said that a washcloth had come up missing. Wow. $60 for a washcloth? I don't know if I've ever stayed at a Wyndham, but my guess is they have the thinnest washcloths from the dollar store. And then
I've never bought a $60 washcloth anywhere, but I guarantee you the Wyndham or the Travel Lodge by Wyndham is not buying they're probably buying $600 for $60.
Yeah, because you can get a badass beach towel at the beach for less than $60.
Yeah, and cut it up into small pieces and call it a bath towel.
Well, she replied to Liz, and no, it had not. Oh, well, actually, the washcloth was stained, and there was a towel stain. So $60, please. So they changed the story on her.
Yep.
Called to dispute that. The management... What is his name? Groove?
Groove, like from Minion.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the dude from the Minion movie. So we'll just
Who did not identify himself when answering the phone, so that he'd ever so graciously give us $30.
I'll give you half. We'll split the difference.
Now, this is a situation I might go back there and clean my butt with the washcloth.
Yeah, if you're going to charge me $30 for it, we're all wiping our butt with this washcloth and then taking it to the front desk.
Or dropping a deuce in the lobby. No, I wouldn't do that. That's disgusting. No, we asked for the stained items. So she told Liz, no, they weren't stained. Give them to me. I'm paying for them. Oh, no, see, those don't exist. What? Why not? Well, they threw them out. Can we see pictures of these items? No, they didn't take them. So not only could they not tell the same story twice, they also had no evidence of any of this happened.
Because they're lying.
What a crock. Well, if you'd listened to our podcast, you wouldn't stay at a Wyndham.
Exactly. That's the problem, people.
We need to contact Rebecca Bennett.
And tell her. We could have saved you.
We review Wyndhams all day long. They're our go-to crappy hotel.
They have ghosts, hillbillies, everything. Asian people jumping out of kitchen cabinets. I mean, you get it all.
Rednecks, hillbillies hopping out of the floor.
You get it all at the Wyndham.
Yeah.
Ghost. We've had ghosts.
And I found out, look.
We need one with aliens.
That one in Bristol where the hillbilly was living in the hole in the floor?
Yeah.
It was a travel lodge.
By Wyndham.
But I don't remember it being by Wyndham.
Maybe they just didn't write it all out.
Wyndham, I'm still up for the $500,000 a year. I'm sure Brad is too, to inspect your hotels and withdraw franchises from the losers that own your hotels.
I'll do it for $250 a year.
$250
with race tickets included.
All right, I do. Yeah, plus
plus room and board at every
reimbursement,
track, cars, flights,
and
I wouldn't mind driving track to track.
We can clean the filter in our room and the air conditioner.
We could like bum rides with hauler drivers. We're just cutting around the back because the generator might catch on fire.
And if they sponsor us for the races, we don't have to quit our daytime job.
Yeah, we can do that on the road.
Yeah, we can do it on the weekends.
The Wyndham.
We can only hit East Coast races. Well, if they provide travel,
yeah, if they pay for our flight, we could fly out.
We can at least get to the Cup Series races on the West Coast.
Fly out on Friday.
And leave afterwards.
Monday morning.
Because we don't have to worry about ticket prices.
Exactly.
They're paying for
Wyndham's got us covered.
Yeah.
Or flights. They'll pay for that. Is that
part of their...
Maybe we can get a private jet.
Maybe we could bum a ride with some of these teams.
Maybe. That's what I said, ride with a hauler driver. But that won't be fast.
Well, whatever. Don't stay at a Wyndham.
All right, where are we going next?
And they don't want to improve because they're not willing to pay Brad and me. I'm sure they listen.
You know they do.
America's Best Value Inn.
Hey, that's what you're always looking for, the best value in America.
Well,
you think it's been around since 1776?
There's probably been Value Inns.
Probably.
Just not called Value Inn.
This is before.
I have a feeling they're not owned by America because they called it America's.
Oh, yeah. You know they're not.
I don't think you should profit off of Jesus or America.
I'm good with that.
Unless you're selling nothing but American flags.
But I've never stayed at a hotel called Jesus is Inn. And I probably wouldn't.
Do you think maybe in Tijuana there's a Jesus hotel?
The Jesus Inn?
I'm going to look it up for next week.
We're not racing in Tijuana.
Yeah, but there might be a Jose or Juan.
Juan Jose? Juan Pablo.
But this is Chelsea Kramer.
Chelsea.
And this is very recent. She gave the American Best Value in 1 out of 5.
Amen.
Think we should sprinkle in some of those fake 5 out of 5s done by people from another country that can't spell?
No.
They sound like the way we talk.
That's management.
Yeah. Upon entering our room, the immediate impression was very poor. The room was very dirty. The bathroom door didn't open due to the wrong toilet seat being used, blocking the doorway. Oh, my God.
How do you block the doorway with a toilet seat?
They've used one bigger than it should have been?
I've never seen the toilet lid bigger than the seat. Did she put pictures?
She says she did. I could not access them. Maybe they were removed because there was a deuce in the toilet or something. The peephole was just an open hole in the door. Now, that's weird.
Is that to the bathroom, though?
Do they have a peephole in the bathroom?
That's a problem.
Yeah, but you can't open the door. How do you know it's not some weird...
You can look in the bathroom, but you can't open the door. That's because
weird Irish hillbilly
There's
holding it
somebody in the door.
shut. Uh-huh.
Looking
through the peephole. Oh, my God. Why do you think they call it a peephole? That's where you'd peep on some...
Where you peep the hole. You peep through the hole. Not peep the hole.
It stands for private part peeping?
Private hole.
Private. Ugh.
Oh, Lord.
There were blood spots in the sink and skid marks on the toilet.
How do they know they couldn't get in there,
Maybe this was
though?
like some 700-pounder.
How do they know?
Eating Taco
if you
Bell.
Can't get in the bathroom, how do you know?
Well, I guess they eventually got in.
Well, they didn't put that in here. Last I heard, the door was blocked.
You can go grab something, like a pin, open it just a crack, push
Jiggle the
that seat
handle.
over, get a wire hanger, undo it, and put it through the peephole, move it over. Well, for obvious reasons, they saw skid marks.
And blood.
Well, but was that human skid marks? It's just down the road from the racetrack, or was there a car racing on it?
I doubt that.
Well, it's an oval.
It's a toilet bowl with an oversized seat.
We had agreed upon a 12 p.m. checkout, but at 11:30 they were knocking on the door telling us we needed to get our stuff and get out and leave.
Did they negotiate
Wow.
that checkout time the day before? I've never, ever negotiated checkout time. Well, me and the front desk guy, we agreed that 12 o'clock sounded like a good time
I'm a
to leave.
Marriott reward winner. Not winner. You
get-
pay for those points, but you get a late check-in or check-out. Early check-in or late check-out
Yeah, Hilton's
just by
the
being
same
a
way.
member. So they threw her out, even though I was still waiting for my ride, so they didn't have a car. I removed my belongings anyway and went to the front office to check out and wait. I came in and tried to tell the general manager that they shouldn't be knocking on people's doors after already discussing the late checkout time. But she didn't care and proceeded to tell me that I couldn't have my dog in the lobby and then accused me of not paying for my dog without even looking in the account. The general manager was very rude and unprofessional. So I left the room, keys, and walked out. Not even 5 minutes later, the general manager charged me another night because of the altercation.
Dude, I would have been
You can refuse,
livid.
but you can refuse a charge on your credit card.
Oh, you know, I would.
I've done it.
They stole it. I'm charging them with fraud.
So he's like, we had to fight with the lady to get her to refund the money
Here we go with the fighting thing.
and threatened a lawsuit if she did not provide us with a receipt. The general manager proceeded to state, if I wasn't wearing the shirt right now, I would have knocked her teeth out. What? So he wants her to run around butt naked? Boobs hanging out?
No, I think the general manager said
If he wasn't
if
wearing
I
a
wasn't
shirt?
wearing this shirt right now, I would have knocked her teeth out.
Now, I've gotten into a few fights when I was younger.
I'm so confused. The general
I always
manager
got in a fight with a shirt on. Is he a professional boxer?
Maybe. They take their shirts off, right?
Yeah.
MMA.
Uh-huh.
If I ever got into a fight, I always put on my Sting pants and painted my face. Get ready.
Okay. Did you grease yourself up so the punches would slide off?
Why did the wrestlers do that? They always cover themselves in baby oil. It's just comical. Is it so they could slide under the ropes easier?
Yeah, and they slide on the floor when they turn their head just where they not really get punched.
Where are we going next?
Irish Hills Campground. I have been here.
This is the one you said you grew up going to?
Yep. Well, for the 2 years we lived in Michigan, in the summer we'd go down and camp because they had a swimming pool and all that fun stuff. But what sucks about Michigan swimming pools, if it's not heated, it's like 55 freaking degrees, man. Yeah. My dad being from New England, he goes, just stay in there for half an hour. You get used to it. No, you don't. Because when you get out to have a Kool-Aid or a Little Debbie, you warm back up and you jump in and you have to relive the experience you did 30 minutes before. But anyway, it's the Irish Hills. That's what they ought to call it.
Campground spelled with a K.
Yep.
That's what I'm talking about.
I actually called my mother and said, hey.
That's pure math right there.
Do you remember that campground we went to down in the Irish Hills? And she goes, it had campground with a K. And I said, oh.
She remembered.
There's reviews on this.
She probably reviewed it.
Daniel McGough.
I like his name.
Or is it Magoo?
I'm going with Magoo.
Magoo. Gave it a 1 out of 5. And he says, oh, where do I begin?
From the beginning.
Overall, completely the worst experience of my life. Horrible customer service. My 11-year-old literally found drug paraphernalia in our cabin upon walking in. And I'm not talking about the medicinal kind. It was a crack pipe.
Okay.
How do you know, though?
What a crack pipe is?
Unless you're a crackhead.
I don't think they have medicinal crack. I think that's why she's saying it wasn't medicinal crack. It was recreational crack.
I mean, if...
How do you know the difference between a medicinal crack pipe and a recreational crack pipe?
Well, I don't. If your neighbor came over and fired up a rock of crack in his pipe, I'm not sure I know what it smells like. So how do you know unless you're a crackhead? Is this one crackhead to another?
Probably. You would have to be experienced. Maybe she's a recovered crackhead who's moved on, had 11 kids.
And she's like, oh, geez, that's crack.
Yeah,
give it to me.
That's definitely a crack pipe,
Give
son.
it to me, son.
Give it to me. Throwing it away.
And then she locks herself in the bathroom with a cigarette lighter. In my opinion. There are 20 cats that they take care of raided our campsite overnight. That'd be a good YouTube video. That would go...
cats, yeah.
Yeah. That would go virtual in a heartbeat.
Are these like regular cats or are we talking about like mountain lions?
I don't know. I didn't see any cats when I was there 30 years ago.
So they weren't taking care of 20 cats at that point.
There were different owners because I read other people going, I've been going here my whole life. I'm 55 now, and these new owners suck.
It was great when...
Because I have fond memories of going there.
Is this like a family camp thing or like fat camp?
It was, but wait till you hear what the hell they do, man.
All right. Let's go.
So, a previous review said it best. It seems like you are inconveniencing the owners, to say the least. The owners live above the office, and if you ring the bell for assistance during business hours, as the sign says to do, you are almost casted off like you interrupted the lady's favorite Netflix series on her personal time off. That's not right.
Well, maybe he did interrupt her Netflix series.
You cannot access the swimming pool unless you ring the doorbell. You cannot access the game room unless you ring the doorbell. You cannot get firewood or even buy things from the little shop without ringing the doorbell to get it. I asked her while she was in the office if she could take a picture of me and my family because we wanted to start a yearly tradition here like we did when I was a kid. She was extremely irritated. I responded with, don't worry, we're going to be in the pool for a while, so if you're busy, please finish what you're doing. There's just no one else here to take a picture. She said she will be out a little later and never came. In the woman's restroom, there were loose live electrical wires hanging out of light sockets and fixtures. This whole experience was very disturbing to me and my family, especially because I used to come here as a kid, when the previous owners owned it, and had such a memorable experience every time. There was 2 other campers there. Clearly, they ran the business down. Huge altercation with the lady upon leaving. Checkout was at 1 p.m. I gave her the key to our cabin at 12:55 after she just opened the pool for my wife, 11-year-old and my 6-year-old. Soon as I handed it to her, she asked, "Okay, so you're checking out and still planning on swimming?" I said, "Yes, for a couple hours maybe, go to the game room too." She said, No. You cannot stay that long. You checked out, so unless you are getting another night, you have to get off the property. I was blown away. Told her this vacation was the worst experience I've ever had, and she said that's fine, but I have to get off the property.
So I kind of have an issue with this. After you check out, you think you can stay?
No, I have a problem with that too.
I mean, I don't think she had to be so rude about it. She could have probably handled it a lot more professionally, but
Is the insurance going to cover a non-resident?
You checked out at dang near 1 p.m. 5 till checkout time, you check out. And then you're like, yeah, we're checking out, but we're just going to use your facilities the rest of the day. When you check in, you gain access to those facilities. When you check out, you lose access to those facilities. I don't get it. I don't understand what this whole paragraph should have been removed.
Well, he was probably pissed off and didn't edit it.
Yeah, there was plenty of other things he has to be mad about here. But carry on.
While gathering my family and literally buckling in my newborn into his car seat, she calls for backup. And some mid-60s guy comes driving up in his truck, gets out of his truck and tells me if I don't get off the property, I'm going to be arrested for trespassing. Now, that's escalating a situation where you should...
Quickly.
Uh-huh. I'm blown away again. I merely argued for customer service and business model. What business model?
See... This could have all been avoided, though, if he would have left after he checked out. It's trying to loiter. Remember we learned about loitering.
Take the kids to the pool at 8 a.m.
Yeah, he's trying to be a loiterer, as we learned about on other episode.
He's a loit.
And he gets kicked out for loiting.
Yep.
He is loiting, and they've kicked him out.
Do not camp here. You will regret it. I have pictures of everything, including the one of the old man who thought he was a bouncer, making threats to me like, "You better get out of here before you piss me off," right in front of my 11-year-old while I have a newborn in my hand. So, dude, if he really questioned your manhood, hand your newborn to your wife and punch the dude right between the eyes.
Just get in the car and leave. I mean, none of this was necessary. None of it. He had reasons to be mad because they wouldn't answer the doorbell. They were rude. The light fixtures are electrocuting people, and
the place used to be busy every day of the week. Pool, bathroom, showers, play area, and the game room was busy all the time. I really wonder what could have killed this business. Well, they did, because when I went there, there was Donkey Kong.
There was no live wire.
I don't remember.
The only live wire they had back then was Motley Crue.
Like 8 years old, man. All I remember is, "Dad, can you give me some quarters, Daddy? Daddy?" And then he would say, "I just gave Joey a whole roll of quarters. Didn't he share with you?" No, but I'm going to go kick his ass. Thanks, Daddy.
Like I said, man, the dude should have just left. Like, okay, so you're checking out and you still plan on staying.
We're both parents. We've gone through this before with our kids. We got to check out at 11, get down to the pool at 8. Let's make sure all our bags are packed tonight except for what we're wearing tomorrow.
Exactly. All right, so we will be in Michigan next weekend. Michigan is a 2-mile D-shaped oval with 18 degrees of banking. Thank you,
Well,
Lord.
we won't physically be in Michigan.
Well, we won't, but NASCAR will be. We'll be in Michigan.
Okay.
It is an
they gave us a
asphalt
press
surface.
pass. Does that make us we now?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're members of NASCAR media.
We will be.
So we, as in NASCAR,
Irish Hills.
we're all NASCAR. Haven't you seen the commercial, I am NASCAR?
Well,
You are too.
I've never.
We are NASCAR.
Have you ever had them refuse your money?
NASCAR?
Yeah, no.
No. So we're all NASCAR.
Well, yeah, we are NASCAR.
We're paying to be NASCAR. Well, we're NASCAR, by
Why don't they give us a share? in their business.
Wasn't it public at one time?
I don't think so. Their
I feel like
racetracks were, I think.
Something was.
And they took it private.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Seating capacity for Michigan is 137,000. It is owned by NASCAR. First race was 1968. They're running the race at the prime perfect time of 3 p.m. Eastern. You'll be able to catch the race on USA Network or MRN Radio.
Oh, I got a beef with NASCAR.
You always have beef with NASCAR.
Well,
is it over the start?
It was on NBC, and I don't get NBC where I live with the antenna. So I had to sign up for YouTube TV. It was offered free for like 3 days.
Yeah.
I've got to remember to cancel it, or I get charged $60.
That's what we use, YouTube TV. I like it. I mean, it works.
And I couldn't figure out on Peacock
for me it's
how to get it.
So Peacock doesn't do the race live every week. I thought they did, but they don't. I don't know when they do.
Is it only live when they're on USA Network?
No, that's when it's not usually on it. So usually when it's on the big network, it's on Peacock. So it wasn't on Peacock yesterday?
No,
I never even
couldn't,
looked.
And I'm screaming at my wife, Jody, do we have premium? The internet says we got to have premium. She's like, yeah. I'm like, are you sure? So she looked up her credit card that she put on. She goes, yeah. They took the $4.95. I'm all over the internet playing with the app on the smart TV. I can't figure out how to do it.
Only the first race of the year that NBC had it, I watched that whole race on Peacock. Since then, I just haven't seen it. And I haven't looked every week. But the times I have looked, it's usually on USA Network, and I don't find it. So I think it just has to, it's not on there every week. Now, I think every Monday, the replay, an uninterrupted replay is put on there. So, but going to Michigan, you have Kevin Harvick has 41 starts at Michigan, 5 wins, 21 top 10s.
Do you think it's his week?
No.
No, neither do I.
Kyle Larson has 13 starts, 3 wins, 7 top 10s. Joey Logano has 25 starts, 3 wins, 17 top 10s. Denny the Hamlin has 31 starts, 2 wins, and 16 top 10s. Ryan Blaney has 1 win, 13 starts, and 6 top 10s. Now, I also put the top 10 finishing results for Auto Club Speedway from earlier this year because it's a 2-mile track, somewhat very similar to Michigan, and it was a very good race. So at least we have that to look forward to.
There aren't too many people that are active drivers that have won there, if you look at it.
I think there was a few other guys who had 1 win. I just didn't put them on there.
They were insignificant.
Well, I just try to list like the top 5.
They were insignificant.
So
you got a top 5 with 1 win.
What I'm saying is I get it from the racing reference. So Ryan Blaney's average finish had him higher because he has less starts here than a lot of the guys with a lot of starts on racing reference.
God, beep! Brad, what you beep? Listen to me.
Okay. All right, so
that's me reenacting Dale Jr. download.
Yeah, we're not going to argue like that. Maybe we will one day. I mean, maybe not on episode 26.
Maybe we get like 3 subscribers and we have a little taste of success.
Then we start fighting?
Yeah, then we'll start fighting. We'll be prima donnas.
All right, so Auto Club Speedway, top 10. Kyle Larson won there. Austin Dillon, 2nd. Eric Jones, 3rd. Suarez, 4th. Logano, 5th. Eric Almirola finished 6th. Harvick, 7th. Kurt Busch finished 8th. Daniel Hemrick finished 9th. And Stenhouse Jr. finished 10th. The trend here is Chevy, 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 Chevy. Ford, 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 Toyota, Chevy, Chevy.
So you probably don't want to pick a Toyota.
No, I would say a Chevy would be a really good pick. So my pick is Hendrick minus the 48 car Bowman. So I'm going to go Larson, Elliott,
Byron.
Byron.
He's kind of petered out, old Bowman, hasn't he?
Yeah. Larson, Elliott, Byron, Harvick. I'm going with Hart. I don't think this is his week, but if he's got a week, he's got 5 wins here. He finished 7th at Auto Club. They've definitely improved since then, so I think he's got a really good shot at winning here. And I'm hoping drafting comes into play a little more here.
Well, I'm going to buck the trend, and it does look like he has no chance.
You want all Toyotas?
No, I'm just going Kurt Busch for my first driver.
That's his.
He's going to have 2 weeks off.
Yeah, we don't know that he'll be back.
I've had a concussion from a bike accident.
You think he'll be back?
I was only drooling in my pants for like a week.
All right, we'll put him down.
And then I'm going to go with Joey. Then I'm going to go with Watermelon Man.
As much crap as you talked about Ross, you're going to pick him.
Watermelon Man.
That's funny.
But my favorite driver will be the one that wins. Chase.
Elliott.
And he's going to do it without a DQ.
Well, I would hope so.
Well, if a Toyota's ahead of him, he might still win.
So do you want to pick a garage driver? I guess is what they would call it in the fantasy league, in case Kurt doesn't make it in. Let's say Kurt doesn't make it in.
Ty Gibbs wins the race.
All right, so
let's say the 45 car wins.
You're going the 45 period, and you're calling the 45 a winner. Okay.
Oh, and if he wins, Kyle Busch is going to slit his wrist in a hot bath.
Kyle Busch is done.
Oh, geez, that would
actually be really,
that's the
really
new Kyle
cool.
Busch.
That would be awesome if I hope Kurt's back. I hope Kurt gets back soon, but if Gibbs subs again at Michigan, goes out and wins the flipping race.
Figures the new car out in 3 races.
That would be – but Kyle would have to get out of the car and go, look, Joe, I'll do it for $50,000 next year.
Yeah.
I'll do it for free.
I want 10% of the purse.
I will pay you.
Uh-huh.
I will pay you to let me drive the car next year.
Or he just gets out and says, hey, I quit. You might as well have him racing my car the rest of the year.
That would be
maybe M&M's would stay if that happened.
Nah. I don't know. I think it would be awesome to see it happen.
I kind of root for him because he had peanut butter M&M's.
I hated those. Those
are the best.
I don't really care for M&M's.
I like plain and I like peanut butter. I don't like the peanuts because they get cheap on peanuts. I think they're what we call in Georgia Redskins, and that's because their skins are red, not because it's referring to Indians.
You don't want to eat those.
No, those are used for cattle feed and candy, which I guess that's what they are.
Did you see Hershey's had an announcement that they're going to be short on chocolate candies for Halloween and Christmas? So they didn't say what, but certain candies that you usually see traditionally on Halloween and Christmas.
Oh, it better not be Reese's Minis. That's the only candy other than the M&Ms that I've just described.
Little Reese's?
Oh, yeah, that's my favorite. The little ones. They're just enough.
Regular Reese's and the little Reese's are perfect. Mm-hmm. It's the perfect chocolate to peanut butter ratio.
But then they got the minis that aren't that good. Too much chocolate.
No, the thins or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Or the big fat chunky one.
With the Reese's Pieces in it, no.
No, too much.
Like the big, huge one is close. It's almost right, but it's still too much peanut butter.
2 in the package, regular size.
Yes, perfect.
Perfect. And the minis.
Perfect.
Miniatures. The minis are the tiny ones.
I don't like the Christmas trees, the Easter eggs, the pumpkins.
No.
I hate all that. There's too much peanut butter then. The ratio is off.
Oh, and
it tastes to me. The chocolate tastes different on the eggs.
Uh-huh.
It's like softer. I like that rigid outside on the.
And I'm a connoisseur. If it is a drugstore like a Walgreens or CVS, I don't think the turnover's quick enough. Have you ever got them when they're turning white and they don't taste right?
It's not as good.
No.
Never noticed that.
So you buy it from a Kroger.
So you check the date. Do they have like a born on date?
They do have a date.
They have a born on date?
Uh-huh.
So
and I want it a month away or longer.
You want the freshest you can find.
Uh-huh. And I've noticed at CVS, it sits out there till someone buys it. Doesn't matter what the date says.
So what's your go-to candy? Is it a Reese's?
Reese's Peanut Butter Cup miniatures.
The miniatures? The minis are your go-to?
No, not the mini minis. Aren't they called miniatures? And the minis are the little teeny cups with too much chocolate, just a little bit of peanut butter and no cup wrapper.
That's the thins, right?
I don't like the thins either.
You're talking about the mini ones that are about
They're
the
that
big as a
big.
quarter.
Size, yeah.
Yeah.
Best ones in the world.
Best one.
You got to unwrap each one.
That's your go-to candy.
I once bought that freaking little bag with the little teeny dingleberries.
You like that?
I didn't like the peanut butter and the chocolate ratio.
I don't like Reese's Pieces either.
I like Reese's Pieces, but I like the M&M's peanut butter better.
My go-to candy would be York peppermint patties, and I like the mini ones.
I like Yorks.
I like the small ones, like about the size of a quarter. You can get them at Costco. You can get like a box of 150. Love those.
100. I need to go to Costco.
Dude,
I live in the middle of nowhere. It takes me 2 hours.
We go through about a box a month.
But
that's my go-to.
As you know, I don't like candy.
I don't either. That's about the only.
Yeah.
Hershey Kisses. I'll eat some of those.
Give me a bag of chips.
I'd rather have dark chocolate. I had some dark fudge the other day when we went to North Georgia. Phenomenal. Like I like milk chocolate fudge, but the last time I had it, it was too sweet. So I got the dark chocolate. My whole family, kids and all, loved it. They liked it better than the milk chocolate fudge.
You know what's like a candy to me?
What's that?
I only do it Saturday morning. A cup of black coffee and a cold 7.5 ounce Coca-Cola.
Same time?
Uh-huh. Like sip the coffee, take the Coke.
Why?
It tastes so good. It enhances the coffee and the cola. But I bought...
Have you tried mixing the two together?
Doesn't work.
You've poured Coke into your coffee.
They even make Coke and coffee.
That sounds horrible.
It doesn't work.
That's one heck of a way to wake up, Coke and coffee.
And then, I don't know if this is candy or not, and I don't like cake, but a Swiss roll with a Coca-Cola.
Hey, I'm not a big Little Debbie or like...
I love Little Debbie.
Donuts now. I can do a donut.
I'd marry her.
I like glazed with the chocolate.
Jody, that's not literal.
Yeah, she's just a candy.
That would just be for her.
Or is that a snack?
Swiss rolls.
What do you call that? A snack? It's not a candy.
Do you even think a Swiss roll's from Switzerland?
No, it's like South Georgia probably.
Well, it is Chattanooga, which is North Georgia. I mean, just across the line is Ringgold.
Depends on which way your map's facing. Could be up or down.
When you go to Lookout Mountain, don't you hit Georgia for just a second?
Is that really where Little Debbie's from?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I bought a box today.
I used to like Sour Patch Kids and Twizzlers. What are we talking about here?
I don't know.
All right, that's about all I got this week. You got anything?
Well, if you got Reese's mini
like.
peanut butter cups, don't send them to us in the summer because they'll melt.
They make great Christmas gifts, though. We'll gladly eat them.
Oh, yeah.
Yorks and Reese's. You got us.
We'll return the favor. We'll send you a die cast with our autographs that no one wants.
All right. Well, thanks to everyone who follows the show, who shares our show on social media, and listens each week. We greatly appreciate it. We love you all. Make sure you check us out on Spotify. Rate us on Spotify. Follow us on Twitter. We're at Car Backwards. Subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcast and leave us a review. And make sure to check out our website. It's racecarbackwards.com.
Well.
Uh-oh.
Bye.
I've seen that look.
See ya.
That's it?
Thanks, guys.
That's it.
Everything Brad said, it's true. We love you guys. We do this because we enjoy people enjoying it.
That's it.
That's it.
We have a great time doing it, and hopefully you have a great time listening, and that's literally the only reason we do this.
That's a wrap.
All right, guys. Y'all have a great week. Thanks for listening to a race car spelled backwards.
Dude, have you ever eaten so many jalapenos your butthole hurts?
No.
I think, you've got a bunch out there. We've got some in our garden, and the jalapenos are going insane. So last night...
Burning your butthole?
I made nachos, and because we were at New York City, the only topping I had was I went and picked jalapenos and just put them all over it. My asshole's on fire, dude. I mean, I did my regular stuff, but it's just been burning all day.
I jarred mine.
Your butt?
No, my jalapenos.
Hey, did you turn off the recorder?
Crap.